Hello and welcome to my latest video. The topic of this video is something I felt really drawn to sharing. And as the saying goes, it's kind of when you share and teach others, it's often great to do it from your own personal experience. Because sometimes I believe in life, there is no better teacher than life itself and the experiences we go through. So today's topic is around your relationships in life, your intimate relationships, even family relationships, friend relationships, but with a more of a focus on intimate relationships and how they affect your menstrual cycle. And does your partner respect your cycle? So if you have a think about relationships, maybe a relationship you're in or a relationship you've been in, and how has that affected your cycle? So obviously we have the menstruation phase. That is one aspect of your monthly cycle. But you also have your premenstrual phase, your ovulation, your pre-ovulation. So every month as a woman who has a womb, fallopian tubes, a cervix, there are different hormonal changes you will go through every month. There are different feelings you will go through. And everyone's feelings and experience is unique to them. And there is no right or wrong way to feel. There is no normal way. Every woman is unique and different. And I just want to express that because from someone who's been compared my whole life pretty much, or other people telling me how I should or shouldn't feel, I feel it very important to express that your experience is your own, okay? So just because maybe other women, your partners may have been with, didn't feel things the way you did, that doesn't mean you're dramatic. That doesn't mean your experience isn't valid. Okay, we're all different. And there are many things that affect that. So for instance, people that are on contraceptive, hormonal contraceptions, that is going to alter their experience very differently from someone having a natural experience. Because your body, the hormonal contraceptions are altering your body's experience and are changing your natural chemistry and your natural hormonal flow. So every month there are going to be ups and downs within your cycle, and realistically there probably is only going to be a week or so where you're going to be feeling at your best or your most, feeling you look good, feeling like you may want to be intimate or make love. It's not necessarily going to be the whole month. So with that topic of relationships affecting your cycle, I think one way to look at that is how is your cycle every month? How is your bleed time? So do you struggle with that? Are you getting pain in those areas? Because if I look at myself, I think the last couple of months I've been having a lot of premenstrual tension, and I feel it really strongly, and it's often not just a couple of days before. It can be like 2 weeks or more, sometimes 2 weeks, 12 days, 13 days. Sometimes it goes on because if your period's then a bit delayed. And I sometimes feel like what makes us feel worse, well, I'm going to talk for myself, what makes me feel worse is when I didn't feel honoured, I didn't feel respected, and I didn't feel supported during that. So I did find that through being in a relationship that actually the first 6 months or so, someone may be able to show up. You may be seeing a side of them that is, interested, wanting to learn about it, because they may see that's something you're interested in. However, I feel like maybe after 6 months or so coming up to it, you're gonna start seeing someone's true colours. That how can I say it? The rose-tinted glasses may start to wear, and in my case they did. And I just felt very passionately about this because this is a topic I am so drawn to helping others with and helping myself. It's a really sensitive topic to me. So to feel that I wasn't being given the support I needed. So if my energy has been very low, because I'm a sensitive being at the end of the day, I am on the scale, probably at the highest end of sensitivity, okay? So I know that because I'm a healer, I'm a empath, I'm a feeler, I feel it all, which can be difficult to deal with. So yes, sorry, I haven't really planned this video either, so I'm just talking from the heart right now. So yes, I'm very sensitive. I get very bloated easily because, again, my stomach holds emotions, which makes me feel uncomfortable, heavy, tired. The last couple of months, I hadn't been doing my normal exercise I might do, my routine, I was eating worse. So I would say I was going through a bit of a difficult time. I was also trying to do some of my own healing work too. So when you feel like you've not been supported, I do feel like that has a direct impact on your monthly cycle. And of course, in the comments, please share as well, because I would love to hear from others and how this is affecting you. Or maybe in the past you might be able to relate to it. And I know from doing healing work with others that often when they have been in relationships that maybe aren't serving them for their highest good at that time, that they have also experienced problems in their monthly cycle. So again, that PMS, that PMT, that premenstrual stress phase, your inner autumn, they have struggled a lot more with, because we're holding on to so much emotional pain and we're not being supported yet. There is another being in our energy field that can cause us quite a bit of chaos. So not only are you feeling what you're feeling, like in my case, I was then feeling the added stress and burden of not being understood by the person that should love me the most, which I found very challenging and frustrating. And yes, men may not be the most empathetic or sensitive or able to talk about their emotions, but it does take a great deal of emotional maturity to accept a woman and to work with and learn about a woman in her divine beauty. As a woman, we menstruate. This card here, I just think the artwork is beautiful. We menstruate. We also have the ability, if a woman wishes to carry a pregnancy. And again, all the changes, the hormonal changes within her body, her mind, her spiritual being and energy field, that is huge that a woman has to go through. And even just the fact of bleeding every month and having that release and that pain. And I feel like maybe it's because they don't go through it, they can't relate or understand. But it really takes a special type of man to be able to empathise and to show up where we need them. So if we need extra love, extra support, we should be able to ask for that. And fair enough if a person can't do that, but then we shouldn't be made to feel bad then if they want from us but we can't give, because we're actually going through something very seriously. And I also feel like there is an expectation I experienced in my relationship that was this desire that a man should be pleased and satisfied, and okay, unless you're bleeding, most of the time you should be intimate with the man and show up for him in that sense to meet his needs, which I found very triggering and selfish, because if I was going through pain or preparing to have my menstrual cycle, my body's going through changes that week or two before that were affecting me, the last thing you want to do is when you're tired, your body's in pain or aches, and you feel tense and stressed. Sometimes for me personally, the last thing I wanted to do was to be intimate. However, I was making sacrifices, going against my own being and what I knew and felt was best for my body, just to please somebody else who wasn't even being understanding of what I was going through. So definitely, I think emotional manipulation that I went through and I've seen, but at least I'm able to recognize that and acknowledge that, because in the long run, if we keep pleasing others or that person we're in a relationship with, and we put our needs second, especially in this sacred area in our bodies, that's when we can cause ourselves problems. And over time, that's where I think, or we're not honouring our divine feminine energy, which is so magical. Yes, we may start having problems with our menstruation, maybe very painful, strong, difficult periods, irregular periods. There's so many different conditions, fibroids, cysts. Oh, the list could go on. I've spoke about this in some other videos. Problems, fertility issues, or maybe pregnancies. There's so many things that us as women can go through that can impact us negatively, and then if we're not being supported with them. So I really feel like a strong message with this is to really stop pleasing others and to start listening to yourself, and that will take a great deal of strength and power within you. But I want every woman to know who is listening to this, you do have that strength within you. And this is coming from another woman that has been through a lot as well. But you do have that strength. And I think it's the empowerment of realizing the gift in our cycle. Not, like I say, not just the 7-day bleed or however long you bleed for, but the whole cycle, the gifts in that we're given as women. And I think we need to honor that, not go against it, not be here just to please men or satisfy men. You know, at the end of the day, we are the ones that have the womb and can create and birth life into the world. Even if it's not a physical pregnancy, you birth and create ideas. We have that womb. It's a sacred energy portal, and it deserves that highest level of respect. So, you know, I think it's important as well, if you're in a relationship, to educate your partner about your cycle, because just because they've been with maybe loads of women before or had loads of relationships, or another woman in their life, that does not mean they know everything and know how you need to be supported. So that's a unique, you know, I'm not here to tell anyone what to do, but that's a unique process and journey for you to go through on being comfortable to speak to your partner about this and what you need from them and how you wish them to show up for you. Because I just personally felt it's so upsetting and heartbreaking to give your all to someone and to be with someone and then to not get that emotional support in return. And also just to feel like a lot of the burden as a woman is left on you, even, you know, down to dealing with your cycle every month or contraception, everything gets put onto the woman. And I feel like that is so much, and it's such a burden. So not only have we got our own emotional turmoil and stresses we may be going through, we then have the added ones of the relationship. So it's really made me reassess. Sometimes we can be stronger just on our own, and it's finding that right person that can really add to your life, because you don't want the added stress and burden. For me, I think it would be perfectly nice if that could be lifted away. And unless someone can really, you know, help make your life easier in this sense and support you through that process, often it feels like it can be easier just to go through it alone. But that's where, again, this fine tunes down to the manifesting of what, you know, in a relationship we really want. And ladies, don't be scared to be really specific with the universe of exactly what you want. But I just really want to reinforce that. Listen to your body, because that premenstrual stress and tension that we're carrying is definitely a cry from the body to bring our attention back to us. You know, what are we suppressing? What are we holding on to that maybe we need to release? Do we need to look at diet, lifestyle, exercise, relationships, toxic things or people that may be in our lives, even traumas or pain that we've suppressed but we could be holding on to? There's so many things that is a cry for, and that's where it's really about digging in and doing that inner work. And that's one thing I think I really wanted to make clear was I don't just come on here and do videos, or, you know, I think a lot of people want to help others, but I think until you really only do your true inner work yourself and look at yourself and how things affect you in your life, that then gives you the strength to help and heal others. But, you know, healing begins with healing oneself. Then you can help heal others, and that helps heal the world. It's a process, so don't be afraid of digging in and doing that inner work. You know, you can find support in a lot of ways. Supporting yourself, creating a routine, a spiritual routine and practice that grounds you and supports you. And that is why I try and bring out as much content as I can to help others on their journey. So please feel free to share for you guys. If this video resonated, if it makes sense. But honestly, it's just so important to respect ourselves in relationships and know that we are divine and worthy of that love. Thank you so much. Look forward to bringing you more.